What's up, you guys? Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to teach you how to set up your RBG12S 12-inch powered subwoofer. This is the perfect subwoofer for supplying low end to any live performances, band rehearsals, DJ events, and much more. So as you can see, you get the subwoofer itself along with a power cable. The sub also comes with handles on the side so we can bring it to any gig or event. There's also a 35mm pole socket that we can use to mount a pole to prop up a speaker. So now let me take you through some of the features on the RBG12S. Starting with the volume knob, this is what we're going to use to set the level coming out of the subwoofer. On top of that, we have the power light, which will tell us that the subwoofer is on. And next to that, we have the clip light, which will tell us if the subwoofer has reached peak volume or comes out super loud or distorted. Next to that, there's a low pass filter knob that allows us to adjust the frequencies coming out of the sub. So depending on where I set the knob, the sub will play the frequencies from that point and below. So if I set it right to the middle at around 100 Hertz, it's going to play frequencies of 100 Hertz and below. So you can fine tune this and set it for whatever fits your setup and the room you're in. On top of that, we have the Polarity Switch, which will reverse the polarity of the subwoofer to better sync up with our speakers depending on placement. Now the RBG12S has a combo jack input so it can take both XLR or 1/4 inch connections. And next to that, we have the XLR output, which we can use to sync up to another subwoofer or speaker. And we also have an RCA input so we can connect any speaker with an RCA output. Now, one of the ways we can set up our subwoofer is with a powered speaker. So let me show you how to do that next. Alright, so here I have my powered speaker that I'm going to connect to my subwoofer. And you'll also notice we put an RSP36 in the middle so we can prop the speaker up to the sub. And this is a great setup to use the speaker and the sub together for a live performance or a DJ rig. So to connect my speaker to the subwoofer, I'm going to use an XLR cable. I'm going to take the female end and plug it into the XLR output on my subwoofer. Then I'm going to take the other end and plug it into the XLR input on my speaker. So now I can go ahead and turn on my sub. Then I can go ahead and turn on my speaker. Now I can raise the volume knob on my subwoofer. Then I can raise the volume knob on my speaker. Now for music playback, I have my smartphone connected to both of the line level inputs on my speaker. So let's hear how the whole setup sounds. Woo! Oh man, it definitely makes a big difference with the subwoofer. You're hearing a lot more bass. You're still hearing plenty of high end from the speaker. It's a nice combination. Really cool. So now we can expand our setup even further with an additional sub, speaker, and passive mixer. So let me show you how to set that up next. Alright, so here I have my passive mixer and my additional speaker and subwoofer for my bigger setup. So first I'm going to connect my mixer into my two main speakers using two XLR cables. I'm going to take the female ends and plug them into the main left and right XLR outputs on our mixer. I'm then going to take the male ends and plug them into the XLR inputs on both speakers. So now I'm going to connect my speakers into my subwoofers with two more XLR cables. I'm going to take the female ends and plug them into the XLR outputs of my speakers. Then I'm going to take my male ends and plug them into the XLR inputs on my subs. So now I can go ahead and turn on the mixer, then I'll turn on my subs, and then my speakers. Now we can raise the volume on our speakers, and then raise the volume on our subwoofers. Then we can raise the main left and right faders on our mixer. And now since I'm using two channels on my mixer for stereo music playback, I'm going to raise the volume on those levels as well. So now that everything's all set up, let's hear how it sounds. Whoa! I mean, it makes such a big difference with the second sub, getting plenty more bass and plenty of high end from the two speakers. Oh man, filling out the room, I'm feeling the bass. Crazy. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your RBG12S 12-inch powered subwoofer. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.